I've talked about how I lived in terror for years before my guide showed up, but I haven't explained how or why I was so afraid. I haven't really told a lot of people this story except for a few close friends because it is so freaking unbelievable that literally, if I hadn't lived through it and somebody were telling me the story, I'm not even sure I believe them. So it happened when I was in my 20s. I had a roommate and we were renting a split level condo. We didn't really talk about this, but I would often see this woman. It was mostly I would see her out of the corner of my eye, not alive, and a yellow dress would go around the corner. I got the sense of her. I could tell what she looked like. I would most often see the woman when I was leaving. So I parked my car in the back of where the condos were, and my bedroom overlooked that part of the property. And so I could see the woman standing in my bedroom window pretty much every time I left. It would just be a random thing. Sometimes I'd look for her, sometimes I wouldn't, but it felt like she was always kind of looking out the window. But she wasn't intrusive. I thought it was creepy, but again, I didn't accept what was going on. I had no way of fixing it. And so, like I had for the rest of my life, I just sort of tried to ignore it. So my roommate and I are driving away from the condo one morning, and she says, "Have you seen the lady that lives in our house, the lady in the yellow dress?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, I see her all the time." So I felt seriously validated by the fact that I wasn't alone in seeing her, but at the same time, I didn't know what to do about it. So nothing actually happened. So time goes by, a couple years, I'm still in that place, and I am going to a Super Bowl party with a friend of mine. The friend's name is Trevin. She's the one that was throwing the party, and she had an apartment not far from mine. So were in the party, and another friend of ours brings a new girlfriend that none of us have met. And she does a couple of shots, which seemed really weird at the time. But once she's relaxed and we've kind of hung out with her for a little bit, she starts telling us the craziest story about how she was new in town, didn't know anybody. This is before internet. So the only means by which she had to keep herself entertained was either watching TV or connecting through a telephone, like calling a friend. So her boyfriend was working, so he had their only car during the day, and she was sort of stuck at the house. So to combat this, she had gotten a kitten, which great move, get a pet, and a Ouija board. And she was terrified because now she said the board had been telling her to do things that she wasn't comfortable with. She felt physically watched all the time. At first, it was friendly, and she felt like it had gotten threatening. She also felt like something bad was going to happen if she didn't play with it 100% of her free time, which was getting to be obnoxious. She also noticed that not only was she feeling watched, but she had said that lately her cat would disappear, sometimes for hours, and she would look and look and look and look and finally find him, not only in a place that she had already looked, but usually in places that there's no way he could have gotten into. First, we asked her, "Why don't you just throw it away?" Which seemed like the obvious question. And she said that she felt threatened, like something bad was going to happen if she threw it away. So we told her we would get rid of it for her. Makes sense, right? We don't believe in this. Nothing's going to happen. So we take her to her house. We pick up the board. We drop it off at my house, or I think it stayed in my car. I go back to the party. We go back to the party. Eventually, it ends up in my house, and I don't really do anything with it. I didn't really think about it after that. We figured we'd solved her problem. We took it off her hands. A few weeks later, Trevin asks me, "Hey, did you ever throw that Ouija board away?" And I was like, "No, I kind of forgot about it." And suggests, which I regret, that we play with it once, just to see. We don't believe in it. Nothing's going to happen. So we get it. We take it out of the box. We're upstairs in my bedroom, sitting on the bed, and we lay it out. There's a little funny shaped thing that comes with it, and called a planchette. We set the planchette on the board, put our fingers on it, and almost immediately it starts to move. It's talking to us. It confirms that it's the same person, entity, that our new friend had been talking to. But then it starts showing us the same thing. And I know how crazy this sounds. I know how crazy this sounds. I remember it like a movie. We both saw exactly the same story. So the story that played out was about the lady in the yellow dress, that she had lived on the property hundreds of years before and had fallen in love with a boy from a different village. They would meet in the center of the village near a well. It was like 3-foot rock, like circle. But her father, who was one of the leaders of the village, had instituted a curfew because they had been warring with another local group. And so one night when she went out to meet her lover, they had both accidentally been shot and killed, and somehow in death had gotten separated. And because Trevin and I had chosen that time and contacted that entity in the space where the woman lived, we had created the environment by which they found each other again. We felt all of their feelings. There was a feeling of joy and excitement like I have never experienced before. Longing, love, accomplishment. We felt all of the years that they'd been separated trying to find themselves, like find each other. It was overwhelming. And suddenly it was over with. And we were just sitting there looking at each other, tears just streaming down our faces. And we didn't say anything, but we felt like we'd closed the loop. Like there was this sense of accomplishment. We did it. We put everything back in the box. We went downstairs, still not talking. Trevin gets in her car and drives away. I walk over to the dumpster and I throw the box in. We should have not thought that was all there was to it. Things were okay for a few days. I didn't see Trevin again for a couple of weeks, but within a few days I got home and every faucet in that condo was on full blast with the hottest water. I wish I could get that hot water out of it. I like hot showers. Just boiling out of them. It happened more than once, so I called the complex. They had somebody come out and take a look. Could find nothing wrong with the plumbing. The lights would turn on and on, but not just on and off. They would flicker, and it felt like SOS. Like it felt like it was trying to say something. Had an electrician in. They could find nothing wrong with the electrical. I wasn't sleeping good. I had a newborn at the time, so I don't know if there were other factors. I tried to put it out of my mind until I saw Trevin again. She was like an entirely different person.